tone and execution, because you can have good intentions, you can have a good purpose, but the way you go about posting it or the way you go about sharing it can be a turnoff to some people or can paint you in a negative light. And you don't want to do that because the whole point of this is to self advocate. All right, welcome to episode 51 of Enter the Nebula. My name is Mike Ergo, and today we're talking about self advocacy versus bragging. I think it's important to talk about this, especially in today's world where everybody's posting, people are shouting things out, social media, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, you name it, inside and outside the workplace. You could start to think, man, when is this appropriate? When can I advocate for myself? How do I advocate for myself? When does it cross the line to bragging? I've given it some thought as to what I do in my head. I'm not saying I'm right, but it's just my thoughts. The first is, what's the intention? What's the purpose? Usually when I'm posting, especially on my private or personal pages, it's for comedic effect. I'm trying to make people laugh. I like to point things out. I like to tell stories. I think that that's fun. But for career things or for self-advocacy, think about your purpose. Is the purpose to let your boss know that you've accomplished something that maybe he wasn't aware of or she wasn't aware of? Is it to let your potential customers know that you've kept up to date with a certain certification in your industry? Those are all real good purpose, and the intentions make sense. So what is a bad purpose or bad intention? Well, you obviously don't want to share something that intentionally puts someone else down or highlights the shortcomings of someone else, or I don't know, think of something that would rub you the wrong way. I think that's a good exercise in and of itself, is putting yourself in the other person's shoes. Would they be interested to know this? If you're a customer, would you be interested to know that this resource who happens to be helping out on your account just got the new latest certification in the industry? Yeah, I'd want to know that. It's very helpful. It's good to know that they're staying up to date, and it's good to know they're investing in bringing that to our account. The second is tone and execution, because you can have good intentions, you can have a good purpose, but the way you go about posting it or the way you go about sharing it can be a turnoff to some people or can paint you in a negative light. And you don't want to do that because the whole point of this is to self advocate. And the last is coachability. You really want to be self aware when you're advocating for yourself. Is what you're sharing a really good accomplishment? Did it truly move the needle? Understand what either your people in your career are looking for or what people in your life are looking for, and know, are you meeting that threshold? And if you're not, be able to receive that feedback, because that in and of itself can be good. Hey, I think we really did a good job on this project. Yeah, you guys didn't do terrible, but next time I'd like to see X, Y, and Z. That's good. Now hey, I've kind of advocated for myself on this project, but then I've also gotten a few pointers to do better the next time, and be able to take that and move forward. Where bragging comes in, I really think, is on the execution and tone, how we go about doing it. And the way I thought about this as an example was looking back at when I was coaching. And when you go coach and recruit for your new team, you go to these showcases, you go to these ID camps, whatever you want to call them. There's hundreds of athletes there working to impress you. And there are some that, for whatever reason, they just don't come say hi. They don't introduce themselves. And that's okay. But unless they're really going to stand out with 100, 200 athletes at an event, some coaches miss things. But the athletes that come, they let you know, "Hey, I'm interested in your university. I'd like to play for you. My number's, 57. Make sure you check me out." That's good. That's self-advocacy. Now, the athlete and the parent that sits there and talks your ear off for 15 minutes telling you how great they are, and then they walk away and you look and maybe they misrepresented their achievements. Now you've gotten to a place where you're not self-advocating, or you are, but you're having a negative impact on yourself. So that's how I think of it. I think of intention and purpose, execution and tone, which I think is the most important piece, and then coachability. Understanding when you do self advocate, if you get some feedback, some coaching opportunities, take them in stride because that's going to show well too. And finally, I've learned over the last few years, I think I've talked about this on here, screw the haters, man. There are always going to be people that want to bring you down. There are always going to be people who uh, have a negative feeling about what you're posting or how you're advocating for yourself. And as long as you're grounded in your purpose and your execution, those people aren't for you, anyways. Don't let them get you down. Build your brand. Someone said that to me recently. You are in control of your brand, and your brand is your brand. Whether it's inside the workplace, whether it's on social media, whether it's with your friends and with your family, you're in control of your brand, and own it. Be a master of your own domain. Again, my name's Mike Ergo. I hope this was helpful. Have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you next time.